So, everyone right now is arguing about this. Subtlety or Outlaw? Which one is actually better after the patch? And I'm gonna be honest. Most people are getting this completely wrong. Because yeah, Subtlety got stronger, but it's also harder to play. And Outlaw? It looks worse on paper, but in real gameplay, it's way more consistent than people think. So let's break down this properly, and I'll tell you exactly which one you should be playing right now. So quick summary before we go deep. Subtlety has higher potential, no question about it, but if you mess up, you lose a lot of damage. Outlaw on the other hand, it's just more consistent. You log in, you perform, no stress. So let's start with Subtlety. Let's go through some clips that I did, just to show you guys the damage profiles and everything, just to see the comparison. So after this patch, Subtlety is definitely stronger. Your burst windows now are insane. But here's the problem. Everything depends on execution. If you mess up your shadow dance, if you waste a window, your damage just drops. And that's why a lot of people feel it weaker. Even thought the Spec is technically stronger. Subtlety right now rewards good players, but punishes mistakes hard. And of course, if you guys are wondering which mistakes, I also have a guide on those mistakes as well, so you guys can check which mistakes most players are actually doing right now on Midnight. For the other hand, on Outlaw, it's actually the opposite. It's not flashy at all, it doesn't have burst, but it just works. Your damage is stable, your rotation is forgiving, and in Mythic Plus especially, that consistency matters a lot. But as you can see on the screen right now, Subtlety on AoE, it's actually very good, but it's actually because of one thing. We are just doing M0s, and most of the players are actually with 250 or even more high level. So everything dies really fast on every dungeon. That's why Subtlety looks really good right now on dungeons. Because I believe when Mythic Plus drops, Outlaw is gonna perform better than Subtlety. Just because of the simple fact that the packs are just take longer to die. And Outlaw is just way more consistent on the overall damage than Subtlety. Let's see how it performs with the recent buffs that Subtlety got with the auto attacks and everything. So for the other hand, in Outlaw, as we talked about right now, the damage profile is actually very consistent, but it doesn't have any burst. So as we can see on the screen right now, everyone passes basically on, us on their meter on the first seconds, but we actually catch up really quickly and we stay on the top basically. So that's one really good thing about Outlaw. Our damage it's basically just ramping up every second. Of course you need to do the rotation properly just to ramp up the damage, if not it will just stay consistent. But that's one thing that Subtlety is not gonna have, I believe, when it comes to Mythic Plus, high Mythic keys. So Outlaw, I believe it's gonna perform better on Mythic Plus, but let's wait for the tier set and everything because this can change with the tier set, but I believe the tier set is gonna be even better for Outlaw, even for Mythic Plus and for single target. So I'm gonna even update you guys on another guide when I have the tier set and everything, so you guys don't need to worry. But for the other hand, in single target, right now, Subtlety, it's, as we can see on the screen, it's much better than Outlaw, just because of the simple fact that our single target just was buffed significantly. I believe Outlaw can actually be better and on single target than Subtlety, but it's when we have the tier set, because the tier set, as we saw on the other guides that I did from Outlaw and Subtlety, yes, it's gonna impact Subtlety on a really good way, but I believe the tier set from Outlaw is gonna really impact the overall performance and the overall damage even more than Subtlety will. Because as we know and as we saw on the other guide, the tier set is gonna improve the damage of Blade Rush for 30% and even the single target damage for an extra 15%. So it's gonna be really good, and let's see how everything performs. But as we can see on the screen right now, for the current day, Subtlety is better for raids, and I would actually recommend you guys to play Subtlety just because most of the bosses on the raids have damage amp phases, and we want to utilize that with Subtlety high burst and the two dances and the shadow blades and everything. And we can parse really good with Subtlety right now, so I would recommend you guys to play Subtlety on rate, and until we have the Mythic Plus, I would just recommend you to play Subtlety. So final thoughts. For all situations, until we have the first set, I believe Subtlety is going to be much better than Outlaw, because of the high burst and because of the mobs dying really quickly. But I believe when you have the first set and we start to having Mythic Plus and everything, I believe Outlaw can start to be much better than Subtlety. Keep an eye on that, and know that Subtlety might be a little bit weaker when we have the first set, so always keep an eye on the first set and try to see which one performs better. So that's basically it for the video today, guys. I also have one Subtlety updated guide and an Outlaw guide. It's actually not updated, but I'm gonna update it really soon. If you guys want to check those out, they're gonna be on the video description down below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video helped in any form possible. And if it did, please drop a like and a subscribe. That would really help me. Thank you for watching. My name is Mushgate, and I see you on the next video.